Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited today to bring you a comparative tasting of two rosés that are non-vintage rosés. It's the Ruinart Rosé and also the Moët and Chandon Rosé. So let's talk a little bit about rosé champagnes in general. So it's made in typically the same way or the same method as regular champagne, and typically using the same grapes. There's basically two ways that you can make rosé champagne. The first way, which is basically they use the Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier grapes, which are actually red wine grapes, and instead of taking off the skins, they actually blend them as the red wine component of that. So they actually have Pinot Noir that's without skins, that's used in the champagne blend, and then they also use, in a way, red wine Pinot Noir to blend in, sometimes around 10%. The second way is to have the skins when they actually ferment in the vats, so that there's skin contact, and then there kind of bleeds in the color to this. And again, I'm not an expert on techniques, but I believe with both of these situations, they're just adding red wine grapes, the Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier, to the actual blend to make the color, and that's typically is about 10% of the blend of this rosé is going to be a red wine. Let's talk about the two champagne houses. So in typically rosé, the difference is, again, generally speaking, it uses the same grapes. The color is nicer. Some people prefer rosé. In fact, I think you get different kind of flavor profiles. With champagne, just regular champagne, without skins, you usually get more citrusy, creamy elements. You get pears, apricots, apples, that type of flavor content, more like white fruit. With rosé champagnes, you still have those elements, but they're kind of covered by the skin contact, either from the red wine that's put into the blend, or else from the skin contact that is used in the fermentation process. So that skin contact, or those red wines, brings different flavors, and generally they're darker fruit flavors like plums, like strawberries, and because you have that tannins, you have a little bit of more you have tannins at the end of the aftertaste of these champagnes. So in my mind, they're a little bit more drier, or not as fruity in how they approach it, and I think they pair better with food, although a lot of good high-end champagnes also pair with food. You're not going to have as much sweetness. So I don't think I know of any rosé champagnes that are like in the 13 grams per liter residual sugar. I don't think it happens. So let's go through the champagnes. So first we have Ruinary. So this is the first champagne house that was established in 1729. They're known more for their Blanc de Blanc, which is really famous, which only uses 100% Chardonnay. This champagne is hand harvested. It's a blend of 40 to 50 different crus. It includes about 20 to 30% reserve wines, and that's pretty typical of non-vintage rosés. Then it's aged in their cellars for 2 to 3 years. The dosage here, or the residual sugar content, is about 8 grams per liter, which is kind of fairly standard for champagne in the mid-range or non-vintage champagnes. And the blend here is 45% Chardonnay and 55% Pinot Noir. So again, how it gets this color is either, and I'm not sure exactly which one it is, I believe it is that of the 55% Pinot Noir, 45% of that is without skins, and then 10% of that is actually Pinot Noir, like red wine Pinot Noir, that's used. The other way they would do this is they would have the skins fermented with the Pinot Noir slightly, so that would give it the color. So let's smell and taste this wine. I'll let you know, this has actually been open for a couple of days, but it's still got a nice bubbles and things like that in it when I took it out. It's got the effervescence. It's very easy. You just put a stopper on it and then you put it in your fridge. It's fine. So on the smell, different, much different from a regular non-vintage champagne that's not a rosé, just a regular champagne that's, you know, white or yellow in color. It's much more like strawberry and black plums on the aroma. And you can actually smell a little bit more dark fruit and a little bit of the tannins also in there. Rather than with a champagne, you never get that type of residual smell of black fruit. Although it is 8 grams per liter of residual sugar, it doesn't taste that sweet. And I think people that don't like very, very sweet champagne will like rosés. Because again, it's got that aftertaste, it's got strawberries and black plums, and then a nice little finish, a substantive finish. So this really pairs well with food. It pairs well with, of course, caviar, with any type of shellfish or fish product. It's all very, tastes very good with that. The rating on this, I actually like all champagne. So I'm gonna give this 90 points. It's a very nice champagne. It's more substantive than most non-rosé champagne. So, but really easy to drink. I just want to go through these sleeves. So this actually comes with the rosé. So it's a nice sleeve and it's made specifically for Ruinart. They did this a couple of years ago. This is totally eco-friendly, not going to hurt the environment. But if you see, there's a little hinge here, which is kind of unique. And then it just pops off and the bottle comes out like this. So it's a little kind of cave, but it's a really unique kind of design. I like this very much. And then you just pop this back on, like here. It's really neat, actually. And it keeps it cold, so it's nice. This is one that I got a while back, so it's so nice, right? You can put any Moet and Chandon champagne on there. It's supposed to keep it cold for 2 hours, but it's just a really nice pack. It's got a little thing that you can hold it with, so that's nice, and you can carry it on. And then it's got it nice, and it's got a little buckle in the back and a zipper. But I always think these are things that are so unique, and sometimes people just forget and they throw these away. They're so kind of useful and can be used if you're storing this wine. And it's perfect for this situation where, you know, I'm kind of doing a review of the wine and I want to make sure it keeps cold. Next is the Moet Chandon Rosé. This one is 40 to 50% Pinot Noir, 30 to 40% Pinot Meunier, and 10 to 20% Chardonnay. And again, uses 20 to 30% reserve wines. The dosage on this is 7 grams per liter, which should mean it's drier. It's not as sweet as the Ruinart champagne. So on the aroma, I don't think it is as aromatic as the Ruinart. It's still very nice. It's got those elements of strawberries and black plums, but not as aromatic and not as easy to pick up. It's funny because now I know the dosage is lower, so it'd be drier. To me, it tastes lighter and actually sweeter than the Ruinart, not as substantive. You have lighter fruit, not as much black plums, almost like rhubarb a little bit, and like light strawberries and even a little bit of cherry notes to it. So much lighter fruit profile. You don't see the tannins in the aftertaste as much, or the black plums coming through. So it's a much more lighter style to me. And so I tasted with a bunch of people, and you can generally find people that like kind of more sweeter or lighter champagnes. They actually like the Moët, and people who like a little bit more substantive, kind of more intense and a little bit drier style champagne like the Ruinart. But they're both really neat. And then the good thing about them is they're quite different in terms of stylistically, from my perspective. it's probably not what I would have expected, but to me, they're two very different rosés. So I'd give this 89 points. It's also a very good champagne. I think my personal preference would be the Ruinart because it's got a little bit more flexibility. You can drink it a little bit more with food, but I could see me liking the Moët and Chandon for instance, just a sipping wine without food or with canapes. This would be really nice. A summer wine, this would be spectacular. You'll notice that these both have sleeves around them. The Ruinart sleeve is made it's eco-friendly, and it's made specifically for the Ruinart. So this comes with the bottle. It's really neat. It's got a little opening that you can open, and it's specifically for the Ruinart product. This comes with the bottle. This sleeve actually got, and sometimes Moet and Chandon and other houses have these specials where they have these promos, and this was a promo that was done a couple of years ago with the regular champagne, but I just kept it. It looks beautiful, and both of them have uses. So both of them purport to keep the champagne cold for 2 hours. So this is perfect for a situation where, you know, I'm serving it here or I'm tasting it. It's not going to decrease the temperature of the champagne, which is great. So all in all, this has been a really fun tasting, and I'm really glad I had a chance to drink both of these champagnes. Hope you've enjoyed this tasting, and until next time, happy drinking.